Welcome back to Man Cave Stuff. I am your host, Jakk Box Creations. So the NBA just recently wrapped up its All-Star Weekend. As it was originally supposed to take place in Indianapolis, teams wore Pacers-themed uniforms. Now, when the original photos leaked, there were a lot of people online that really didn't care for them. I love when the All-Star Weekend is held in a certain city and the uniforms take on the theme of the host team. And I thought Indianapolis nailed it this year. I personally don't own any All-Star jerseys, so I decided to roll back and look at the 2020 jerseys. I found an All-Star jersey and I'm gonna go ahead and customize it. Here it is, brand new with tags, a 2020 NBA All-Star jersey. As you'll see, there are no numbers, there's no indication of team on the front of it. On the back of it, Kyrie Irving. And that would be great because he's playing for the Nets, but he didn't make the All-Star team in 2020. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the lettering and I'm going to add another player. The player I've decided to go with is going to be LeBron James. Now, unfortunately in 2020, Kobe Bryant passed. So for the All-Star Weekend, teams wore a patch honoring him and his daughter. Former NBA Commissioner David Stern also passed in that year, so teams wore a black band over the shoulder. So there are two memorial patches on this particular All-Star jersey. So I think I'm going to add those two to my jersey to give it a more custom look. Also, if you were to buy the retail version of LeBron James All-Star jersey, what you would get is James 23 on the back of it, as that is LeBron's number. In order to honor Kobe Bryant, Team Giannis wore number 24 for Kobe, and LeBron's team, the Royal Blue team, they wore number 2 to honor Kobe's daughter. So instead of putting 23 on the back of our jersey, we're going to put number 2. This will be my very first NBA All-Star jersey, so I'm very much looking forward to it. Let's get started. So here we have the back of the jersey, and we have our twill letters, unfinished of course, don't get me started. So we're going to need to remove Irving in order to add our new lettering for LeBron James. What I'm going to be using is a 91% isopropyl alcohol. You can get this pretty much anywhere, Walmart, wherever. Take our rag here. You can choose to wear gloves, that's completely up to you. And we're going to soak the rag pretty well. Flip to the underside. We'll start with the letters. We're going to soak and press. The idea is to loosen the glue underneath. I'm going to let that sit for a while. Yep, it's already starting to come up. Give it a stretch, and that comes up pretty quickly. Alright, now we're just left with the residue. I'll take our alcohol and I'm just gonna scrub away and see how much of this I can get off. See, it's slowly coming up. There's a few traces, so we'll keep working on it. Alright guys, I think we have it just about cleared up. There's still going to be a couple indentations, that's okay. Once we hit it with the heat press, most of that's going to go away. Into a little issue during the cutting process if you look at the letter A, but I got it all figured out and the letters and the number look all set. Next step here is going to be adding the Kobe and Gianna patch. Doing our best to try to place it as close as possible. The final piece we're going to add here is the memorial band. We're going to try to get it as close as we can, just like the Kobe and Gianna patch. This was a piece of extra twill. That's what they use for the bands. I think that's a good spot for it. We're going to turn this inside out, and we're just going to snip off the excess tackle twill here. Trying to get it as close to the band as possible. Now just take it over to be sewn, and we'll be all set. So let's start off with the circular patch here. We're going to use a short zigzag, go all the way around the patch. Next up, we'll do the same zigzag stitch around the David Stern memorial band. I have one last tip I want to share with you guys. So what we're going to try to do is preserve the graphics the best we can. And the best way to do that, or the best way that I know, is to use a finisher. Now, this isn't necessarily something that you guys have to do, of course. It's completely a choice. So here we have completed my 2020 NBA All-Star jersey. As I mentioned before, this was the first All-Star jersey that I have ever owned. It's also my first LeBron jersey. My question for you guys this week: with LeBron getting ready to star in Space Jam 2, what is the best all-time sports movie, in your opinion? For me, I've got a whole bunch, but at the very top of the list is Any Given Sunday. That's a football movie, came out some odd years ago with Al Pacino, LL Cool J, Jamie Foxx. I highly recommend, if you have some time and you're looking to go old school, definitely check it out. Thanks again for hanging out. Let me know what you think about the jersey and the question that we asked this week. We'll see you next time on Man Cave Stuff.